Coming up on this edition of Rev Culture, racing into 2025. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Rev Culture. I'm Todd Lewis. Coming up on the program, Jonathan Woolridge has a new ride in the VP Racing Sports Car Challenge. He'll tell us about it. Alana Carter is ready to take the next step in her racing career. She has all the details. But first up, the general manager of NASCAR Canada, Alan Labrosse, talks about the upcoming season and a new partnership with REV TV. Alan, you've been the general manager of NASCAR Canada for a little over a year. Take us through the journey. What have you learned? What have you experienced?
A little over a year. Early November last year was when I came on board. So we're in the new year now. So it's probably about 14 months, I guess. Last year was a learning year just to actually evaluate, analyze, see, where we are doing well, where we are not doing as well as we should be doing, where we might actually not be doing well at all. So, that was mostly last year. It was busy. Went to all 12 races and a few other events. I'm, from a personal standpoint, I'm learning more, how things are done within a corporation, because I'm not necessarily, I've been my own cowboy, for all my life, so, and not usually, but always at the top of the decisional process, like owning the business. And so, obviously I knew that there would be some adjustments, and I'm still learning from it. As recently as last month, I'm still learning of how things are done, whenever you're learning, whatever your age, you're learning. Okay, so it's a good experience.
Do you find the series surprised you in some ways, that something that you didn't expect, either positively or negatively?
I wouldn't say surprised, because positively, I think that we really have, the NASCAR Canada Series, from its original roots of CASCAR and so on and so forth. It grew, it stalled, then there's COVID. There's a lot of things that happened, but not surprised with the product that we offer. The racing that we offer. The entertainment value, but surprised that not enough people know about it. Okay, and when I say people, corporations and so on and so forth. So we have some trees. I shouldn't say trees to cut, but I mean, we have a path that we have to start grinding more and developing, and it's what is taking place now in 2025.
One of the new things for 2025 is the partnership with REV TV, the new home for the NASCAR Canada Series.
Yep.
What was the thinking in terms of why those discussions began, and where do you see this going in the future?
Well, it's for sure, REV is a younger station, okay? Very, how would I say, it's niche market, but they will do things differently. So like a new player on the NHL, right? I mean, he comes in and he wants to prove himself.
You mentioned quickly your history in the motorsports business. You've been a track owner, you've been a promoter, you've been an agent. How do all of those influences help you in the position that you are now?
I don't think there's anything that I haven't done. No, I didn't wrench on a NASCAR engine or stuff like that. But it's funny, because we come to an age much sooner than what we expected. That's a surprise. Okay, but we get there, and then you look back and you say, "Wow, we have considerable experience." Like you say, agent. I mean, it would take too long to let you know all of the different things that I did. But, I come from a competitor standpoint, first and foremost, as being formerly a motorcycle racing champion. And
That's right. I was going to say there's nothing you haven't done, including race yourself.
yeah, no, I did 2 wheels Canadian champion. I did 4 wheels Canadian champion, and so on and so forth, So that was from a competition. Today, the competition is always succeeding, winning with our partners, and evolving and developing the product that we have. And so the competition now, the spirit of competition you always have. If you are a real, somewhat obsessive competitor, the fire never really goes away.
Did you ever think, or do you ever think now that, wonder if I had stayed on the competitor side and not gone into the business side, or did you close that door completely when you stepped out?
I pretty well stepped out. There's a lot of things that people don't know. Okay, I mean, for a very, very short period of time, I was managed by Gilles Villeneuve's manager. I was going to Europe to do the World Championship. I was close with Gilles. Gilles sponsored me. People don't know. It's a lot of things that people don't know that would be interesting, I guess, But and Gilles, we all know what happened to him, right? So that immediately put an end to my European World Championship MotoGP stuff. Then I raced open wheel cars. I was Canadian champion, rookie of the year with teammates with Richard Spinard. Back in the day when Paul Tracy was racing Formula 2000s and all of that stuff. My professional racing career was halted, and I was offered an opportunity to operate businesses which were owned by Raymond David, which was Shannonville Motorsport Park, which was the race motorcycle superbike championship, the sanctioning body. So I learned a lot then. I was only 25, and I was general manager of Shannonville. And so a lot of learning at a relatively young age, but it made it easy. Raymond David told me at the time, he says, listen, you don't have a university degree, but he says, you definitely have a degree in common sense.
Some of that knowledge from earlier in your career and understanding the business part of it served you well, and I think illustrates that you understand to look at things from an elevation, so to speak, to see how all pieces have to fit together so everyone succeeds.
Well, exactly, and that all comes from experience and being in every garden. Okay, so you went to and understanding the importance that it's not just one gardener; it's many gardeners that make it successful. Okay, so you were in this garden that you had to take care of things this way. So it's the same thing for the overall, we're dealing with broadcasters. We're dealing with corporate partners. We're dealing with race car owners, teams. We're dealing with spectators. It's very challenging, very interesting. And you know what needs to be in place to satisfy and give those people a return on what they're spending.
It won't be the last time I'm first, I promise you.
She's just a girl from Western Canada standing in front of an opportunity to further her racing career, and happily she's succeeding. Alana Carter will be racing in the World Racing League in 2025. Congratulations. Tell me how this opportunity came about for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I saw this opportunity. The funny thing is I had gone to a race with the Slate Racing girls. I was in Pittsburgh with them, and on my drive back, I was just scrolling through Instagram and I saw that applications were opening for this shootout, and I wasted no time. I recorded my application video on the drive. I did it all immediately because I
Hi.
was like, this is so cool. I want to be in as
I'm
quickly as
back in the
possible.
car on my way
And
to Pittsburgh right now, but I wanted to get this to
Erin
you as soon as
Vogel, who was
possible.
running the
And
competition, she actually messaged me. She was like, you were the first applicant. I was like, it won't be the last time I'm first, I promise you. I was super excited a few weeks later to find out that I was one of the 4 selected to go. So they kind of chose people based on, um, previous experience, personality, just kind of potential. So the women that they chose were amazing. It was actually a really cool experience. So the nice thing is because we only had 4, we got a lot more time spent with the team, a lot more time spent in the car, where in a lot of other shootouts, they kind of just run them through, try to get as many people through as possible. So they brought us down to Indy Motorsports Ranch, that's in just a little bit outside of Tucson. Um, I had never been there before. It's a super cool facility. And yeah, so they brought the 4 of us and the whole team down there, and we just spent 2 days kind of getting evaluated, getting to know the team. Um, yeah, it was a very, very cool experience. And the other women, like, we became best friends. We were like, so this is going to be a problem because we're all best friends now. So you have to take all of us.
But it's great to have that kind of support too. You're competing, but it's in the right kind of environment, it sounds like.
Yeah, their intention for the shootout was for it to be an opportunity where, obviously there's a winner at the end of the day, but she really wanted everyone to be able to take something away from the experience as well. And I think that they absolutely nailed it. It was one of the best like events I had been to. Super positive, exciting learning experience, and we all had a lot of fun, which I think is cool because some shootouts really try to see if you're going to crack under pressure, but this one was more so about like, we want to see who you really are. We want to see you flourish. And I think they did a really good job of that.
So it looks like you'll be racing an Audi GT4, which is quite different from where you started when you first began racing in dirt racing cars.
Very different. Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be very exciting. And we've got Aaron Vogel and Sarah Montgomery will be my teammates. So we're doing 8-hour endurance races, which is WRL. So it's going to be a lot of seat time, and I'm going to learn a lot this year, and I'm very excited about it.
So when does things get started? What's the process between now and your first event?
We're gonna get a little bit of testing in, and then our first event will be Barber, Motorsports Park, like February 28th to March 2nd weekend. There's a few rounds before that. We're not doing the whole championship because WRL is a massive championship. They have 11 rounds. So like we don't need to do the whole thing. We are getting so much seat time already. And then in between then and now, we're going to do a little bit of testing, and actually working a lot on like cognitive, the mental side of things. So one of the awesome things about the scholarship too is that they have Claudia Folga working with me for the rest of the season. So she's actually going to come to a bunch of races, and she's going to really, really help me like hone in my mindset and become as good of a driver as I can be mentally.
It's a big switch for you from 2024, where you were racing in Radical Cup Canada. What did you learn, and what was the experience like in that series?
The radicals were really, really good for my skill set and a little bit of my grit. They're especially at Mosport, where they're just, it's like a downforce car on a fast track. I had to level up a little bit in terms of my fitness. No power steering and a lot of aero load is a lot for 40 minutes straight. So depends on the track. The Radical and the GT4s are kind of on par pace wise, because where the Radical's faster in corners, the GT4 is faster on straights. Sorry, my cat is joining us. And then when I got back in the GT4, it almost felt like slow again. And I'm like, oh, I have time to think. This is nice. But yeah, I like the GT cars a little bit better. I like the feeling of weight transfer and all of that. But the Radical definitely, I think it made me a little tougher.
Well, that's a good thing when you're competing elbow to elbow like that. So
Yeah.
you've had the opportunity to race in a lot of different cars. Mentioned the dirt, you mentioned the Slate Racing, radicals, and other things. Is there
Yeah.
an ultimate destination you'd like to get to, or are you just kind of taking all the opportunities right now?
I definitely will take any opportunity that comes my way. Like, I'm just so happy to be racing. I don't really care what it's in. Um, that being said, I think my absolute pipe dream would be WEC, like World Endurance Championship. I really like endurance racing. I'm very good at clocking in consistent laps and having a strategy and all of that. Um, that being said, I have this one little like bucket list thing that if I want to drive a stadium truck before I die. I want to drive a stadium truck so badly.
It's just a total different atmosphere with this team, and it's really enjoyable to be.
Jonathan Woolridge is beginning his third season competing in VP Racing Sports Car Challenge, and he was off to a good start at Daytona with a podium finish in race number 2. Take me through your first weekend with this brand new team.
Yeah, definitely an exciting weekend. It was a while since I was at the track. Last time I was racing was back in July at CTMP. So jumping back into a new championship, new team. Although it's a Ligier, it's the same car. It feels like a totally different car. There is a lot of discrepancy between chassis to chassis. So it was a challenging weekend. Like, honestly, we learned a lot. I think one of the hardest parts about a new team is like memorizing everyone's face. Like, there's a lot of people you have to try to get to know. Working well with the team is also important. So you want to start off that relationship on a strong note. I don't think we did in the first race. We definitely struggled a little more than I'd hoped to, but we definitely came back in the second race with a good challenge in the rain. And I think we showed some strong suits there for sure that we're hoping to continue that onward in Dakota, which is going to be our next round.
Rain, I think, is putting it mildly. There were some real
Yeah.
wild weather challenges in race 2.
Yeah. The race started off with the downpour, and then it dried up, and then it came back. So it was like the track was all over the place. Like, it was like, I don't think I had one lap that I used the same lines. I was trying to find the grip everywhere. And Daytona, they did some repaving in sections too. So like corner 6, it was unbelievable how little grip there was. Like, you could try going wide, you could try going narrow. You just kind of hope it sticks when you get there, kind of thing. So it was a fun race. A lot of good passing, a lot of good challenges. We have that extra class now, the GT3 cars, and they are quick in the rain when the tires are cold. So we take a little bit longer to get our tires up in temp. So it was trying to race the car in front of you and not get passed by a GT3, because then once your tires get up to temp, you're going to get held up. So it was just probably the most enjoyable race I've had in a long time for the challenges. But yeah, definitely a rain race for sure.
How did you come to arrive at this new arrangement with MLT Motorsports?
That's a great question, actually. So being in the IMSA paddock for the past 3 years now, I've obviously gotten to know them pretty well. We definitely knew moving forward that MLT was going to be a team that we wanted to get with at some point. I think we just got lucky. We were in the right time, right place. They were coming off a very strong championship from last year with their driver, Steve Agakani. So it kind of left an opportunity for us to make something happen there. And I think it's obvious that every driver wants to be with the best team, best car. So I just feel very lucky that that opportunity finally presented itself. So,
what are some of the specifics that you're noticing and differences with this new team?
Well, for one, they operate as a team, so that's a huge part. Like, I've been with quite a few teams over the years, and you can really tell when a team is well sorted. Everyone gets along on this team, so that's really nice. I don't think I saw anyone frowning once on the weekend, which was pretty cool. And everyone that has a specific job to do, they do it so thoroughly. And it was just super impressive to see, honestly, being there for the first time. And I've always seen them working in the paddock, but it's different when you're on the other side with them. They're such a supportive team too, when it comes down to, from my side, being the driver. Like, they're helping me in any way they can. One of the funny things that happened was, so Michael Thompson, who owns the team, we were in the trailer. He's like, "Oh, can I get you anything? Can I get you a water?" I'm like, "Well, I've never had a team owner ask me if I need a water." You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a total different atmosphere with this team, and it's really enjoyable to be.
Seems like you're at a real comfort level stage too now, having a couple of years experience, understanding how IMSA operates, the series operates, and that's going to help you, I think, as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like no matter what you're doing as a driver, if you're coming in a second year or third year, you kind of get that title of being a senior figure, I guess, in the series. But with that obviously comes perks, and that's obviously the confidence side of things. You're not really relearning the paddock per se, so that's also a nice thing. When you're multi-class racing, obviously understanding different drivers, different cars, how they all behave in different situations, that's also good to know, which comes with a couple of years experience now.
When you have a year like last year that doesn't go the way you're hoping, you don't have the kind of success that you have, you mentioned confidence. Do you think back to, let's just say, the perfect year that everything did go your way? Does that help boost you or keep your morale up?
I would say it's good and bad. So obviously the good part is you have that confidence, you know it's in you somewhere, and you know what to expect and how you can make it a perfect year, right? You have the experience. The other bad side of it is that you kind of expect that all the time. So when things aren't really going that direction, it's tough to swallow, really. Like, it's hard to tell, like, whether or not, well, we did it this way in that championship, is it going to work here? You know what I mean? So it's good and bad. Like, you kind of have expectations going into a lot of weekends because of it. But you kind of have the experience to help you get there when things aren't going bad. So
I see what you mean. Maybe it gives you unrealistic expectations, like having that perfect 10-win season in Radicals. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Is this your sole focus this year, the VP Racing Series, or are you still open to other opportunities?
I feel like if you ask any driver, they're open to every opportunity they can get. But as of right now, yeah, our definitely we want to focus working with MLT in this championship. We were really lucky that we did get Daytona kind of sorted and settled pretty last minute. So we're off to a good start in this championship. So we're hoping to continue it.
That will do it for this edition of Rev Culture. Don't forget, you can catch up on past episodes by going to the REV TV YouTube channel. And please make sure you're following us on our social channels. Thanks for watching. See you next time.